type of financial strain, especially if you have a family, this, that, and the other. But I think the focus needs to be very clear. Because if people are feeling like this is it's very sporadic and there's new things happening, they don't know if it's could be trusted. And so I think that if this is something you're really passionate about, and this is something that you want to hone in on and create this big empire of providing for students and building a school, etc., we have to make sure that our ideas can land before it starts to feel fuzzy. And I think that there's been some fuzziness and there's been some inconsistencies and people are weary. And I think that it was hard to discuss because people don't want to be weary of you, Doc. They don't.
And
It's
I
easy to
don't
call
want
out
them
Mr. Jones
weary.
because you know he's intentionally lying. But it's hard to call out somebody, not call out, call in to discuss this with somebody that you care about, somebody that you do believe in. And I think people want to believe in you, which is the reason why we have these questions. Because I think if it was a matter of like, oh, fuck them, they're grifting, we don't have nothing to do with it. It's a great idea. And you are a Black woman and people want to support, but they don't want to support blindly because we see what happens. I don't think
Right.
people want to go through that again. And we don't want to see you on a chopping block no more for people to be able to question you because the focus is off. And it's understandable with all of the things that you've been going through. But I think that it's best for your foundation and for you personally to take a pause and make sure that you get it off the ground good. Okay. Make it fucking solid so nobody won't have nothing to say, and then you can gain more supporters and gain more people that are able to help support this cause because there is a clear focus and it can't be denied. But we have to be able to get you there to where it's very clear, very concise, and very organized so that it cannot be mistaken for something else. Because right now, it looks like it's running simultaneously into your personal life, and your personal life is causing you not to be able to commit like you would want to. And people that can't commit oftentimes look shady. Even if it's not meant to look that way, inconsistency just is going to always translate as lack of care, no matter how hard you try.
I do understand it, and I do appreciate you guys for it because I don't want any confusion. It has just been a tough road. My first year, you know, a lot of stuff didn't happen, so I apologize for not making it clear, not really giving people the understanding that they should. I don't mean to do anything. Honestly, my heart's in a good place, and that's really all I wanted to do. So I do appreciate this. I'm not upset. Um, but if it does look like from the outside I'm not focused, that means I gotta hone in. So I do take this all with not a grain of salt, but I take this into like, okay, let me figure out what I'm gonna do.
Okay, that's good.
I do have a website, Robbie. I do have a website that's but I because I advertise a lot on social media, I think everything is um convoluted the way that I stated things. So I just have to get better at that.
Yeah, because the website also asks for 250K, and I think it needs to be very clear what the goal is. So I think that you having goals in mind, they just need to be communicated and executed. Um, they need to be just better execution. And we understand if now is not a good time, but I agree with Phoenix. We have to be able to self-govern and know when we are able to follow through, because if you are going to multiple different people and the conversations are not concluding, it leaves people with a lot more questions than necessary. Okay.
I mean, I with the whole Bella thing, I did talk about a school, but it wasn't. I don't think I went in depth, so I apologize if I confused her on that. With Phoenix, I just really wanted to help her, but if I confused her or made her feel a certain way, I wasn't aware of it. So I apologize for that. I don't know. what else I could do. With Desi, I thought we had a conversation and I told her, I thought I sent her a text message showing that I, put her on the website, but I hadn't had a chance to take it down. Uh, so the confusion
And I
there,
think that that's understandable, right? That's what I'm saying. Like all of the things that you're naming are very they're understandable, but but from here on forward, it is your responsibility to make sure that you are only engaging in what you can handle, because those types of inconsistencies uh unfortunately translate differently than what we expect. So if you say, "Hey, I'm looking to, for someone to help with this," and they're willing to give up their time, resources, etc., and they don't hear back from you, it's it's difficult. You know what I mean? It's just the way that it is, right? If you going to make a doctor's appointment and that doctor's office never fucking call you back, you're finna go find somebody else.
Doc,
You
are you
don't want to
still in
put.
school? Oh,
Oh, go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry. No, 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 no. Finish your thought. I'm so sorry.
No, that was it. Like you got, if you're going to reach out, like Phoenix said, and things like that, you got to make sure that you're able to commit. And in not being able to commit, I think people can understand that. So I think that maybe the logistics need to be worked out before you present it to the public, especially on this app. Asking for money online is always going to be met with skepticism, regardless of the cause. People are going to be skeptical of people asking for money online. So if they cannot clearly define what they're giving money to, they're going to be weary of doing it. And you don't want that for this type of cause, because it defeats the
right.
purpose of you wanting to help people. You cannot promise students that you'll be able to help them pay their way through school if people don't believe you, Doc. That hurts them, that hurts
No,
you.
I absolutely understand.
Doc, are you still in school?
I'm about to go back to school next year. I had to, because of the timeline of everybody passing away in my family, I'm on my track to go back.
I'm gonna throw this out there, not because I think that you couldn't do it all, but mostly just because like I've been there before, and sometimes it can be hard to juggle things. But it's okay to say that this is something that you want to do, but it might not be the right time right now. Um, and then like the other thing, because if you're going back to school, you're going to have a lot of other responsibilities on top of like trying to run
Right.
a foundation. And then the other thing I was going to say is that the transition between school and corporate, or school and like working full time, like when I was in school, I was accountable for my own time. I had to show up to class, dissertation meetings, defense, that sort of thing. It was on me to schedule them. But when you start having things like foundations or working in corporate or whatever it is, you start to be accountable for your time to other people. And so if you're going to start working with people, or if you have goals in mind, like just schedule check-ins with them regularly. Like I think we could have avoided stuff with Desi if you had just said, "Hey, I'm going to meet with you every couple weeks," or we're going to have a regular check-in to discuss the kind of aid that I'm giving to you. And that way she's not confused by what's going on. And you're not having to like have these conversations with her like way after the fact. And then the other thing I would suggest is that, review your website regularly. It doesn't have to be super regular. You can do it like once a month. Just go through everything and make sure that it's up to date, because that is going to be the first point of contact for a lot of people. They're going to want to get up to date information about what you're doing, who you're supporting, the types of work that you do. And if people are seeing that like you're supporting someone, and then like they see that person on TikTok and they're like, "Hey, like I heard that Doc is helping you with your school or with getting funds," and they're like, "I haven't heard from Doc in like however long." That's not something that your foundation needs, and that's not something that your brand needs. You know what I mean? Like I
No,
think there's like we've said it before. It's an organization thing, but also like people like having regular points of contact and regular touch points. Even if there's nothing going on, it makes them feel like you're invested in them and that you're on top of your stuff. And I used to get so upset because some of these meetings are so unnecessary. Like you could have summed it up in an email, like we ain't got no news, and that would be that. But for a lot of us, it's just the human contact that makes it all the better.
No, I gotcha. I gotcha. I think my last point of contact with her was in January. I have to check back. But I did log them when I did. Um, so that we can get everything together. Because I was asking, because I asked the other two, did they get help with, going to CERN? And they were like, yeah, we got a little bit in. The other one said he's got some of his, he got all of his stuff for his telescope. He just needed one more thing. And I said, well, I'll keep you up there. So I thought, I made my rounds, right? But, some things fall through, and that's my fault. That's my fault.
I don't want to go up. Stop bringing me. Oh.
You the one that requested. What the hell are you talking about? You requested. You was in the queue. What are you talking about?
Can I ask a question?
Okay, Megan.
The hell?
I'm not sure what's happening right now, but can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. Sorry, y'all. I am dealing with a really, really bad headache. So if I sound like I'm just all over the place, please forgive me. And Queen and Observer may have already asked this question, but I'm just wanting a little bit more clarity. So I did check out your website, Doc, and it looks really, really good. Like, it's a really nice website. I actually really like it. And I did see that there were 4 students that was looking for aid or assistance. But I wanted to know, and I do like that part. I like that you have their cash apps connected to, whatever type of support that, that they're looking for. So I actually like that. But I wanted to know, outside of the cash app, so like the monies that you have raised independently for your organization, do those people that's showcased on your website, do they also receive funding or support as well? Or they just receive whatever people, if people decide to click on their name and provide financial support, is that the only monies that they're receiving, or do they get some additional support from you independently?
Yes, so that's the only money that they get from me. It was the easiest way to do it while I'm trying to gather things together.
No. So they're getting the money from, so like, for example, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want to make certain that my question is clear. So the money, so for example, like Desi was on the site. So if I decided that I wanted to support Desi with her educational dreams and I gave her $50, I gifted her $50, right? So that money is coming from me. So that's me. It's on your site. You're showcasing her, but it's coming from me, right? So I'm saying, like, when you go and you do fundraising, or you go out and fundraising, you go out and get money or whatever to provide additional assistance. I'm saying, is that money also provided to those students as well, or just the money that they get via Cash App?
No, it's just the money they get via Cash App. Anything else, like if they came to me and said, hey, I need to push further, then we would do something different other than Cash App. I wouldn't leave them on the Cash App and then have the foundation do it, or my nonprofit do it.
Okay. All right. And how do you know, like, I see that there are certain dollar amounts for each person that you have showcased on your website. How do you know if they've reached their goals of, like, I think Desi was 3,000, right? So how do you know if she's reached the 3,000 mark for her educational?
It was a check-in. I mean, I do the honor system on that because I don't think that they're lying to me, right? If you need help with school, you're not going to be like, I need $50,000, right? We're doing on the honor system.
Okay. So you check in with them, or they check in with you?
Either or.
Okay.
But there is an application that I did have up for students who wanted to be on there. I actually took it down because I have to restructure. But I've been knowing that I had to do this. Huh?
Okay.
I think Miss T's question is a good question because it goes back to the application process. I think it just speaks to, again, to iterate organization and commitment, because if you're saying it's the honor system, I think that goes into it, right? That's part of it. We have to make sure that these students are students. You don't want to run into an issue because this could look bad on you, even if it wasn't your intention. You're wanting to trust and believe people. But let's say, for instance, one of those students up there can be proven that that's not true. You know what I mean? You don't want that to blow back on you. So I think Miss
No,
T's question is a very good question. You got to make sure that everything is in alignment and that it's not just an arbitrary number or someone, with a cash app up there because with a number saying that they're a student. Because if that turns out to be false, or if that number is not the correct number that they actually need, or if how do we know they're not asking for more than what they actually need, then you don't want that to pose negatively on your organization.
right. So I did have an application. I'm not putting it back up right now because, like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on, so I don't have time to go through applications. But Phoenix, I don't make them check in with me. I usually check in with them, or they'll just say, "Hey, I got something." They don't have to check in with me. It's me checking in with them. But there's a lot
You
of things
should be
going on.
checking on them and making sure, like Queen said, that they have like their receipts, because like you're helping each other essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there should be more organization, and especially like in those aspects, for the exact reasons that Queen already had mentioned.
I mean, I get what you're saying. There's an application. I guess I'm confused.
Well, I think we're a little confused.
There is an application. I mean, do you have another suggestion for me? Like,
What do
is
you
something
mean
I
by-
should be doing different?
What do you mean by application, Doc? When I'm talking about like checking in on them and like seeing like, hey, where are you at with your goal?
Checks and balances, right? So yeah, so if this person has a $3,000 goal, like Desi, I think her site says she had, I think it was $3,000. Let me go back to it just to make certain that I'm giving the right number. Yeah, so she has a $3,000 goal for school, right? So we have no way of knowing if she's met her goal or if she is close to meeting her goal, right? So that's what we're talking about. So, and then again, too, we don't even know how long her information has been up here. Her information could have been up here for 2 years, 3 years or whatever. And Desi could have met the goal. We have no way of knowing that. So that's what I'm saying about the checks and balances, because this could just be a forever running thing, and no one would know if the person is actually in school, if they've actually graduated from school. Like, we just have no way of knowing.
No, and I get that. I haven't, because I missed some check-ins. I didn't have everything, but I knew Desi didn't have cash apps coming in, and I didn't recheck up back with her. So I kind of missed, I did drop the ball on that a little. I apologize. My brain has been very scattered as of recent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right. And I understand that, and I definitely, not trying to add any additional stress or chaos or anything like that to your life, but it's just that when stories are being presented or narratives are being presented, like Queen said, it definitely makes people have questions. I'm not a person that I just naturally believe everything someone says. I'm always going to question the validity of what you're saying, and so. And then when I see things, it also adds additional questions. And so that's basically what it is. And if you have those answers to the questions, then it's just like, okay, she can provide the information or she can answer those questions. But right now, I think for the most part, it still seems like there are a lot of unanswered questions. I think that may be the consensus of the group here. So that's why for me, even though Queen and Observant, they asked a lot of good questions, but I still felt like I just wasn't clear as to like what was actually taking place. Like, for example, I know that you were saying that you were raising money independently, but then also, I don't know, I'm trying to just make sense of it. If you're raising money, you're going out and you're fundraising, which is great, which is good, and I applaud you for that. But then also you're having the students raise money separately. I'm just trying to figure out how does that coincide with each other. I guess is what it's not making sense to me in that way.
Right, and it doesn't. But my personal one is because my sister didn't have insurance, and I was struggling
No,
with.
not that one. Like, so for your
Okay.
foundation. No, and I'm completely, because listen, the things that you're having that's going on with your family is completely separate. Like, I am not including that. I know that is something that was unexpected. And you're trying to do the best that you can with that particular situation. So my question is primarily with your foundation. Like, if you're raising money for your foundation and then you're fundraising for foundation, but then you also have this, your site looks like a little bit like a GoFundMe a little bit. And again, I like your website, so don't take this as like any type of like negative thing about your site. I actually really like it. I like the way it's set up. But you're saying you're doing two things. You have basically like a GoFundMe like part or component on your site, and then you're also raising money independently. So I'm saying, so the people that are on your site, the students that you're supporting, they're not receiving any of the monies that you're raising.
I
I
want you
think
guys
that is for things outside of the students' cash apps.
right. So it would be like our back office and we would be like our back office and we um
Students have not received any financial support from the money you have raised outside of the Cash App donations. So even
no,
if
there was a set of students last year, three of them who needed $7,000, and we had private donors and then donors on TikTok for their housing. They got paid. They got their money. We paid their rent to stay in the program at the school. So we did do that. What else did we do?
Just a quick side note, that stuff that can go on your website did prominently display so that people, again, going to your website, which is oftentimes the first touch point for your foundation, can understand that their money's going somewhere, that it did accomplish something, that someone did benefit.
You know, I didn't even think about that.
Correct. I agree. I would love to see success stories. Like, for example, with Desi, if she had reached her goal, or if you had assisted in some type of way with her reaching her goal, and there was some type of success story about her journey, I would love to see stuff like that. I think other people would love to see it as well.
yeah, like start going to sites for other foundations that are well established or even well known, and just kind of maybe taking a look at how it's set up. Uh, so that way, maybe you
Okay.
could get more of an idea.
No, I can. I honestly,
Do you
it
know
sucks
foundation?
with tutoring. I helped over 25 students from January to May last year before we even started the foundation with the EIN number. And then afterwards, it was 52 students. And at first, I didn't want to put their pictures on my pages, but I think I'm going to have to.
You have pictures of other
Well, you
students
have
on
four
your.
students, right? Yeah.
Well, it's because some of them are underage. Some of them are like 16, 17, and I don't know. I never really found out the legality. I never really found out the legalities of that, but I'm gonna have to. Yeah, that's what I was
I
thinking.
mean, I just think it's back to the drawing board. I think it's the best for the
Honestly, I
sake
need
of.
help. I'm not even gonna lie, Queen. I need help. I need a lot of help. I'm drowning by myself. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm drowning by myself. I'm drowning by myself. I need
Back for the next steps in your foundation and your philanthropy. Sketch out what you would need to do in order to implement the things that Queen and T and Phoenix and I are suggesting, and the people in the comments as well. In your expertise, if there are things you need to research in order to get from point A to point B, then spend the time to do that.
No, I know, but Phoenix, I've always helped people, and sometimes I don't do it the right way. But to be honest with you,
Tough love right now. I don't care. You have to put yourself first. You cannot help other people if you don't have it to help them.
Phoenix, hold on. I wasn't going through all this last year, right?
But you're going through it now.
Okay, listen. Yes, I am going through it now, right? I have to really refocus because I have to I don't have any more family members left, and that's all I've been focusing on. I haven't even been focusing on the business because I'm really fucked up behind this.
And you should be focusing on yourself. And that's what you
I haven't helped anybody when I went through all this.
You shouldn't have to be helping people, Doc, when you're going through your own personal struggles is what we're all trying to say.
Phoenix, I just said that. I haven't helped anybody since I've been going through this. I'm confused.
I'm so sorry, but even before any of this happened, and of course, everybody goes through things, life be life, but even before this happened, there were some major missteps. So I think what everyone on the panel has suggested, I hope you take heed to that, because again, just major missteps that have happened, like paperwork, paper trail. Anyone that's in business, you have to have a paper trail, and no.
But I do have a paper trail. That's what I'm confused. I told you guys I had a paper trail.
In regards to donations.
Yeah, I have a paper trail.
Okay, so
I even asked Tub to help me with some of the stuff because they've been doing it for longer. So I'm confused.
So things that you literally received in hand, you have all that documented and can give someone a receipt. Oh, okay, perfect.
Yes.
I mean, don't say yes like that. It should have been given immediately. Do you understand? Like, it's just like if you go to the store and buy something, we're talking about things that would have to be written off on taxes. Like things should be, and not for nothing. It's not, those that donated should have asked for their receipts immediately. But still, it's just a practice.
I guess I'm confused at what you're. I guess I'm confused.
It's no confusion. I'm speaking of donors that literally handed you things. You said that you can provide in black and white what was given.
Yes.
That's it. That's awesome. So perfect.
Does somebody need another receipt? I'm confused. That's why.
Doc, do you have a list of donors? Do you keep like a list of donors?
And clearly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Mimi's being very clear. I think Mimi knows firsthand about something, and it doesn't. If I'm being honest, I'm thinking that Mimi is not buying what you're saying based off of her own personal experience.
I know that Thank you, Queen.
Okay.
I know that I'm speaking very clearly. I can hear what I'm saying. I'm asking you direct questions. I'm not
Yes, and I said I
lollygagging.
have a paper trail.
Okay, so
I said I
but
have one.
I
So
still
I'm
spoke to.
Just a quick.
So that means
Oh,
that
I'm
you
sorry.
are acknowledging that. I'm sorry, Vonnie. So you're saying that you are acknowledging that you did not give receipts immediately to people who handed you over goods. Yes?
I might have taken a week or two. If I forgot something,
No.
I will rectify. But
Okay.
I'm confused. That's why I'm confused, because I
There,
know I gave people
I,
receipts. I got receipts back to the donors of the women's shelter where we donated things. I got receipts from the community college. So if I missed something, I apologize. I'm not perfect. I'm just saying they can get their receipt there. I'm not holding anything hostage.
okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. That's perfect. That there's something in black and white. That's all that matters. You know, all the talking is cute, but we know that what's in black and white truly is what counts. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, there should always be facts, but that's why I was confused. That's why I was confused.
I'm not confused.
I said I'm confused.
No. I understand that you're confused about something. I don't know what you're confused about because I'm speaking clearly.
That's what
So,
can we inquire as to what you're confused about, because it's your organization and
Right. If I miss something, I apologize. If somebody's asking for a receipt, they can ask me. I don't have a problem doing that. That's why I'm saying, is this being said on the behalf of another person and I missed something? If it is, I can go rectify it.
yes, no, it will be. They'll be reaching out, of course. I'm very wary of just handing over money or anything to anyone without vetting them properly. So I don't do that often. I do not. But you know, people have big hearts, and they just do. So now, with everything that has happened, and of course, I'm not the only person that is, you know, an eyebrow is raised, or unless you wouldn't be having this conversation right here on this panel. So, you know, it's a matter of, okay, things don't look right. Did I get got? Was I used? Is this a scam or is this legit? Because people have spent a lot of money.
Yeah, and they were, even some people who filed their taxes, my tax ID came up legitimately. So if they need another receipt, I can give it to them through my PayPal, or I itemize what they sent and what they sent it for, or where they wanted it to be used for. I would not ever do that. If you donated to me anything, right, I will give you what you want. I'm not about holding back receipts, especially for people who supported the students. That's asinine.
Wait.
I came in and I think the conversation was about the students getting cash apps. I just wanted to ask, so the cash apps that people were sending were going directly to the students?
Mm-hmm.
On the site, Bonnie.
So how
She
is
said,
that, how do you have checks and balances for that if if the money isn't being delivered to you, it's being delivered to a third party?
And that's what Miss T was saying. Because you don't know if
Right.
they
I was
reached their
going,
goal or what's going on.
Or they could be
right.
lying about the actual amount of cash apps that they actually receive. So then that kind of goes back to Mimi's point of, Doc, you don't have checks and balances.
I went on the honor system and I should do it differently. I was just trying to help our students the best way they can.
Okay.
It really was.
So if people are donating, how are they able to get tax exemptions for the funds that they're donating if they're going to cash apps?
So if
Well,
it's
they
on an
wouldn't
honor
be able
system,
to do
that's
it
weird.
through, they can get the tax ID from my foundation and process it, I believe.
the
They
money's
can't
not
do
going through
that,
your
dog.
foundation.
That's tax fraud because they
Well,
aren't sending the money to
through
you.
the website. Huh?
They can't do that, Doc, because they're not sending the money to you or to your business or to your business account, and then you disperse it. So that would be fraud.
Well, he didn't say it was fraud. It was just helping out
No,
somebody on
Doc,
the
if
side.
somebody, if they go to your website, and I'm using Desi as an example, right? Because we know she's on there. If I go to your website and I donate $20 directly to Desi's Cash App, I cannot claim that on my taxes because that did not go through your organization. That was a
Correct.
direct gift to Desi.
Correct.
So you are unable to provide legitimate receipts to people who donate to this foundation if they are sending the money directly to the Cash Apps of the students.
Correct. And there is truthfully, I understand you're going by the honor system, but Doc, we know business. There's no way for you to truthfully and adequately account for all of the funds that are being ran through that website.
Yeah, because you'll be relying on the students to tell you how much they got. And if they don't want to tell you the truth because they got over the amount, then that can screw you in the end. And I'm not speaking for Mimi, but I think that Mimi is a little weary on some of the things that you're saying, because if that's out of place and that was not thought through, then how are the rest of your receipts going to be trusted?
And then think about it in reverse, right? What if somebody says, hey, Doc, I just donated $2,000 to one of your students on your website. I need a receipt for that. And then you go to your person, to the student, and say, hey, did you get a cash out for $2,000? And they say no. At that point, who do you believe?
Now you look crazy.
Right. Like, who do you believe? Do you believe the person that's saying that they actually donated, or do you believe the student that said that they didn't get it?
I mean, I get what you're saying.
And I also just wanted to touch on just a small point. Earlier you said I'm not perfect and I'm trying to be perfect. I understand that. But like at the end of the day, when you're in a business of service. No, everything isn't going to go right. No, everything isn't going to go as planned. No, everything isn't going to be a success. But when it comes to handling funds, you kind of have to be a little bit more than perfect and be exceptional, especially when you're handling funds, I feel like, on the internet, because people like to make things a lot bigger than what it is. I don't care if it's $5. They're going to drag that $5 out to the end. So you kind of can't have excuses. Not even kind of, like, you legitimately cannot have excuses. Like, you have to be in order. And I think until you get to like your structured business, maybe you shouldn't be collecting funds from people.
That's why I waited to get the tax ID.
What do you mean?
I have my plan in place.
A tax ID?
Right. So I was seeing all the things that were happening, but with a tax ID, and getting my business legitimately straight for the nonprofit, that's what I wanted to do. But my plans didn't suss out, I guess, because everybody still has questions, and I don't want that.
Doc, you know a tax ID is free, right?
No, not in California. I had to pay $700 and something.
A tax ID, you can go to irs.gov, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, and put in your business information if it's a legitimate business and get a tax ID. It is free.
It is free.
It is not.
Yes.
A tax ID is a business social. It does not cost you $1 or a dime to get a tax ID.
Yes,
I have several. It takes me 5 minutes to do.
have to apply through CDTFA.
I didn't know that. That's not information that I knew. So I did
it literally takes 5 minutes.
The way I always did it.
Hold on. You said you waited to get a tax ID. When did you obtain a tax ID?
Huh?
When did you obtain a tax ID?
May 1st last year.
May 1st of last year. So anything donated before that, how was a receipt given?
Wait, say that again.
If anything was donated before May 1st of last year, how was a receipt given?
No, I never gave it. I never got any donations before May 1st.
I'll
You
confirm.
can ask Belinda, because Belinda was asking me, when do you want donations? I said, I do not want it until I get my tax ID. That is something that I always said, because I wanted to try, I wanted to be legitimate.
So just for your information, you should not be paying to get a tax ID. Certain states do have fees when it comes to incorporating your business, but when it comes to actually obtaining a tax ID, it is free. It's free. It's like giving you a new social, because that's exactly what it is for the business side. It's a social.
Okay.
There's no fee for that. You can go to irs.com or .gov.
Yeah, it's right there on the
And
screen too. So
register
Vonnie,
your business with your business information, and they will give you the tax ID on the PDF before they even mail you your tax ID form. So you'll get it in that very moment.
so Vonnie, are you saying they
Okay,
use your
so
tax ID when you file for your business as a DBA, correct?
Correct. As soon as you incorporate your
Yep.
business, your next step should be going to the website to get a tax ID.
so I guess I
It should
did it
be
all
within
in
that
one.
3-minute process. It literally takes no more than 5 minutes to do.
Okay, so when I went to LegalZoom, that's how I did everything. So it's legitimate and nonprofit.
But you
So
paid
I
for
guess
it. You
that's
paid
what
for
I did.
LegalZoom.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Okay.
paid for LegalZoom.
Well,
You
I
did not pay
mean,
for that.
listen. It all came together, so it was all together. But no, I did not do
Understood.
any fundraising before May. I did not do any fundraising before May 1st, and my first fundraiser was June 7th last year. I did not do any fundraising.
Okay, Doc, if you didn't, my bad. I could have sworn I remembered you popping in and out of the lives, like asking for support for your lives and to fundraise, but I could be wrong. And if I am, I apologize.
Well, yeah, I
Okay.
said that I was starting my nonprofit, but I didn't take any money. Ask Belinda, because Belinda was like, hey, when do you want to accept donations? I said, until I get my tax ID.
Yeah, but just
Fully,
I didn't
I
Belinda
don't
take
know
would
anyone
So,
named
know
Belinda.
if
and
you
then,
Yeah,
took
thank
money
you,
before
observant.
then.
Thank
Like,
you.
I
correct.
just, you,
I
like
mean, I could
this.
show. Do you
Well, no,
guys
but
want to
I
see
think
what I?
I don't particularly want to. If anybody else does, then they can. I just like there's a common theme here, and it's you just need to sit down and re reassess what you're doing for your nonprofit and shore some things up because there are gaps here.
Correct. And then truth be told, it really doesn't matter when you started taking money. You shouldn't have been taking money at all. You don't have a nonprofit.
I think the
I
bottom line
don't.
though, Doc, is like
You're building one,
after
but you
this,
currently don't have one at this moment in time.
right, it's not
It's
established.
not established. So therefore, people cannot get tax exemptions for donating to your nonprofit. You cannot validate the funds that you're getting through your nonprofit. And they should not be going
When did
directly
it
to
say that?
excuse me. And it should not be going directly to students. It should be going directly to you, and you disperse those funds afterwards based off the
Correct.
donation that you receive. But money should never go directly to the person in need. It is up to you
Does she have a
to disperse
501c3?
those. From what to my knowledge, she's in the process of getting the
No,
501c3.
I have until October to solidify my 501c. When my
Well,
sister
then, Doc,
passed
Doc, you know
away.
I love you,
Hold
but
on.
but legally,
Leo.
you're not able to accept any type of donations under that umbrella without
Yeah.
without a
See,
501c3 that's been filed.
wait, hold on.
Well, no,
And
the
that's why I asked when I came up here. I'm so
501c3 is for
sorry. I'm so
taxes.
sorry.
I think Mimi's
Yeah,
talking.
that's wonderful. When I came up here, I asked two questions. I remember what I asked. I asked if this was a legitimate nonprofit, legally a nonprofit, and also if you just
But it's
said,
not if you don't have the
wow,
documentation, Doc.
No, they
literally,
told me I have. Okay. I'm only going by what the state of California is telling me. I have 18 months to file my board for the 501c3. This is something that I talked to with a couple of other people too. You can still function as a nonprofit. You just have to get the IRS part, which is the 501c3, done before your 18th month. My sister passed away. She was one of my board members. Now I have to collect another couple of board members. I am not lying about that. I'm not lying about that. I
don't think this is the bottom line. After today, if you continue, people are going to really think that you do not care to get it organized, and it's just about money. I think that people
It's not
understand that
about
mistakes can
money.
be, I know, Doc, thank you. I think that people can understand life happens. I think that everybody is being empathetic towards the fact that you have had a lot of stuff going on, but we're telling you that this is the reason why people are coming to this conclusion. It's not organized. There's no clear direction. There are a lot of missteps and misinformation. So if there are people out there who donated and they feel as though they did not have all the proper information, you'll have to accept that and rectify it. Like in Mimi's case, if there's somebody that's looking for receipts, you're going to have to produce those. Going forward, if you choose not to take this information, then I think that that's going to further people to believe that you're not actually running an organization. That's it. It's about what you do next. What you do next is going to determine whether or not people are going to be able to get behind this cause. But if you continue at the rate that you're going, you're only going to raise more questions and it's not going to be successful.
There was no funds given last year before May.
Okay, so this is the problem. I gotta go. Up and loose.
No, not you, Queen, not you. Because I see them saying, if she gave money, if I took money before, I didn't. In fact, I'm going to post all those receipts. If I missed a receipt out there, let me know and I'll give it to you.
Damn, I got a phone call.
Today.
Can I clean something up real quick as far as the nonprofit status? So technically, by the book, you can still be operating a nonprofit without your 501c3 tax status. You just cannot go on the basis of receiving donations and advertising individuals to get donations in the aspect of them being able to write it off on their taxes. That is what is illegal for that part of it. So you can create a nonprofit. Thank you. That's
Breaking
all.
up, friend.
So bad.
So, does your donors know that they can't file for a tax deduction without you having a 501c3? Are they aware of that? Or
That's not what I was aware of, but if that's the case, then they wouldn't have been able to do it this year anyway, right? Because they wouldn't have been able to file taxes on my tax ID.
Yeah. Okay. So if they
Wait, say
gave
that
you
again.
money,
I think I
if they gave
misunderstood.
you money last year, they can't claim that money on this year's taxes, I don't think.
no, they can't. It's federal statute. You can't do it
So
Mm-mm.
like
unless
that's not a workaround, Doc.
unless you have a 501c3 on file and it's active. If I was in 2024, if I was to donate,
Your voice is low. Whatever you got.
hold on.
Bluetooth or
Okay, I was saying in 2024. What I was saying is in 2024, if I was to donate to you and your organization to say $2,500, I can't turn around and file that on my taxes for a deduction because your 501c3 isn't on file and it's not active. I don't know if they know that or not.
Even still, they still wouldn't be able to claim that because the funds weren't going through Doc's business account, through her at all. They were given directly to the student.
correct. They were
Von,
on.
No, this was
Vonnie, she
before
said that
this.
she said that she had 3 students that received a total of $7,000 last year,
Oh wow.
through her nonprofit to pay for housing on school.
Right. If I right, Belinda, if they deduct it and get audited, then they could be in legal troubles again for tax fraud.
Okay, well, does anybody have any more questions?
Like I said, I think people can forgive you if they think that you're disorganized and misinformed, but I don't think they're going to forgive you after today, Doc.
Why?
That's it. I'm sorry?
I said why?
Because when you know better, you do better. So now that you know better, people expect you to do better.
I thought that was. I'm sorry. I,
You were
No,
very
she
clear,
said
Queen.
nobody's gonna forgive me after today.
If there are other, if you,
Okay, I'm so sorry, Vonnie, or whoever that was. I'm not looking at my phone. Well, a lot of people would be angry at the fact that many TikToks were made, asking to support a nonprofit that clearly was not one, in full. If they can't even write these things off on their taxes, people have donated things, and I know in black and white that I have literally seen, and never got a receipt for it. A lot of money that was actually donated to you and never got a receipt, but you said that you've given a receipt to everyone. That is not true. Now you're saying that you filed your for your tax ID. You waited to file your tax ID, and then there's an echo. Jesus Christ. And then you got your tax ID May of last year. That I feel like that was said that you always had one because this was you
I do have
operating
an
as a
echo.
it was
legitimate
said,
business.
Mimi, you're not crazy. It
Yeah.
was said.
Okay.
I've heard it myself.
So red flags raised. People are
Echo, babe.
upset.
You have the everybody on mute. You have the
I
echo.
do? I got an echo?
Yeah, because we all on mute.
Wait, hold on. No, I don't.
oh, yeah, it's gone.
It's gone now. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was
Okay, that might have been
off
Doc. My
mute.
bad.
Oh, okay. Or so it was someone, but regardless. But okay, now that people know what is really going on, you're gonna get heat for that because people donated a lot of money and a lot of goods to your nonprofit that wasn't always one.
I okay. I'm just going to I'm gonna make a video to show everything that I did and why. I informed everybody like how I did. I always said I didn't have a 501(c) yet. I had to file my board papers. I've always said that. But since everybody doesn't believe me, I'm going to post all my information because I don't know what else to do. I really don't know what else to do.
The first thing you can do is stop everything you're doing right now. Can you? You do have the echo, Doc. Yeah, the first thing you can do is like stop everything you're doing right now. I hope you were making a list of all the suggestions people are making. I think you just need to do a lot of research. It's not a bad thing to say that your first attempt at something didn't pan out and you need to stop and rethink. I think that's number one. Number two, I agree with Queen. I definitely don't think that you should expect people to donate moving forward until you get all of this stuff shored up. I don't think receipts after the fact, especially if people haven't been getting receipts for their donations beforehand, and it sounds like you didn't have a nonprofit in place for them to deduct those on their taxes beforehand. I don't think people are going to. That doesn't instill confidence from the outside looking in.
I received a question.
I get it.
The ballpark would be between, I want to say, hard numbers between $8,000 and $10,000.
Yes, I just have to pull everything together and calculate it.
What did you say?
I will get all the receipts for you.
If you breaking up,
Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, I said roughly ballpark between $8,000 and $10,000
that was donated.
in goods. Yes.
And most of it came out of my pocket too. Right?
No.
Or some of it came out of my pocket.
No.
We're asking Mimi of her firsthand account. We was asking her to repeat herself. I understand what you're saying, Mimi. All right.
Money.
That's a lot of money.
So
Yeah, you still got bars.
Yeah, you still got bars.
Doesn't make sense that you would be fundraising if you had that type of money. Like, I'm so confused right now.
So when I got my heritage, I started the business, right? I started everything. I do have to collect donations because I can't take everything out of pocket. I don't know if you guys remember my story, but that was just my personal journey, right? I wanted to do this to help people. That's all I wanted to do.
Is questioning. I will. I'll take that back. I think that if you want to help people, you need to. You have an echo, Doc. Can you fix that? I think if you want to help people, you need to just focus in on all the steps to get your nonprofit up and going. And take this as a learning lesson. I think Mimi asked for receipts to be sent to people who didn't receive their receipts, so I would get on that. I think that if you're going to make content showing the receipts, you should be very transparent about the gaps that you were experiencing so that people understand what's going on and not just like post, well, these are the receipts. This is where I got the stuff from. I don't think that's helpful. I honestly don't think that posting receipts is going to be helpful at all. I think you just need to get the receipts to the people that are asking for them and then sit down and like fix everything because there seems to be a lot of problems.
And can I just clarify that? Yes, and Doc, yes, you're completely unorganized with it. I'm gonna be straightforward, but nonprofits are very difficult to work with, like to start up. That's why a lot of people have this common mistake with accepting donations and the tax exempt status because it is complicated, super complicated. But that doesn't like take away the fact of your obligation to do it correctly, right? Now, I do want to say that taking donations before you have your tax exempt status is not an issue. It's not an issue. There's nothing illegal to it. It's not wrong in that aspect. However, if you're saying and going off the premise that you are going to provide a tax exempt status from that donation, that's where the problem occurs. It's not taking the donations, is if you're saying you're providing a tax exempt status. I just want to make sure that's clear, like with law. That's clear.
Do I still have an echo?
Yes, you do. Just try to stay on mute when someone else is talking.
So real quick, I've always made it clear that we do not have the tax exempt part, the 501c3.
That's not true. But I've heard you with my own two ears. I've heard you with my own two ears in Bold's Live scream telling people that you help people and you have a up and running nonprofit and people get tax exemptions through you. And I also remember in another live, I think it was T-Bone's live, you said it again and you had to be corrected. You have said it several times on this app. And I don't think you're understanding that people have questions based off the words that come out of your mouth. People have questions based off the things that you say because you contradict yourself many times, including in this very conversation.
Yeah, and I think that the problem is that it's getting to a point where people are having to repeat themselves. And I don't think it's because it's not clear. And that's why we even have to have this conversation. And I think that the more that you deny that there were mistakes, the more it makes people feel like they are right. And I think it's very clear that people are trying to give you the benefit of the doubt and move on from this and give you an opportunity to rectify them. But if you keep giving pushback as if you maybe weren't in the wrong, it's going to make people think that that was your intention. I'm going to be honest. I think people starting to get a little irritated.
I don't think that I'm not in the wrong. If I did something wrong, I'm always going to be like, all right, let me fix it. If somebody didn't get a receipt or I just happened to forget or I didn't remember, I apologize. Whoever wants receipts, we can get them. I'm not pushing back on that.
It's not just about the receipt.
I think like just in this conversation, it seems like every time someone brings something up, you respond with, well, I was just trying to help people. I think that's like, for me, I think that's kind of deflection. Like we understand you were trying to help people.
Yep, exactly, observing.
I also want to say, like, if people are donating to you and it's not to a specific fund that is mentioned in that note of the donation, that's why it's important. A lot of nonprofits, you have the donation option and you can click what type of donation you want it to go to. If you don't select or they don't put in a note, that funding is kind of like discretionary funding. It can go to any general purposes of that nonprofit. With that being said, it's still on, like, if you're advertising, hey, I'm taking funds for this reason at this moment, you are supposed to use those funds for that specific thing. But if you're just taking donations and people are just sending money without a note or without to discretion to a certain fund, that money can be used for anything within that nonprofit. Just what I'm saying.
Yeah, I got you.
You want? I don't mind sending you my nonprofit books. I have tons of them. Just it's good knowledge to have.
I would
Everything from,
appreciate that.
if you DM me your address, I'll send it over to you. I don't need them.
Oh,
But it
yeah,
goes from
I
fundraising,
appreciate
to
that.
leadership to board planning. It has all that. I just want to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'll definitely. I never said I didn't want the help. I need help. I've always said I needed help. It's just, I messed up and I gotta fix it, Well, does anybody have any more questions?
I mean,
Alright, well, I gotta go take care of my dogs, and I will see you guys all later.
Yeah.
I have 4.
Y'all always ain't these damn dogs. Too many dogs for me.
I got 2 service
It's
dogs
good. Yeah,
and I
missing
got 2
sounds is
regular
good.
dogs. Huh? Um, Alright, well, I will see you guys later. I really appreciate all the suggestions, and I am going to take a change forward. I thought I was doing right. Apparently, I wasn't. So I'm going to take a step forward, and I am going to get some things situated. So I really, really, really do appreciate you guys telling me stuff and, just helping me get in line, because I do need help.
Yeah, I think your mission is good. I think your purpose is good. What you're trying to accomplish is good. You just have to do it the correct way. And a lot of people have this issue. I don't want you to feel like you're the only person out in the world who has this issue. But you just got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's when you're doing, especially when you're handling funds.
Okay. I'll DM you my address for the book, because I need it. But I really do appreciate you guys. Huh?
I said I'll send them to you. I don't have any issues.
Okay, thank you so much, and I will see you guys all later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Have a good one.
Bye, Doc.
Well, as the top bitch on all of TikTok, I would like to say
flat tire.
Can we go home for a second?
Yep.
All right.